Hello all you wild childs out there, and I know that the plural of child is children, but wild children doesn't sound as good as wild child, so you are wild childs. That's not important at all. Today we are going to be taking a look at a piece by Wales Bonner. That is the brand by the designer Grace Wales Bonner, and I absolutely love her stuff. It's kind of got vintage vibes, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff that she's doing with knitwear is really forward thinking and really cool. So we're gonna check out everything about this. So let's check it out. But first, I've looked into it and a very small percentage of you are actually subscribed to the channel. It's completely free. Just press that button and you will not regret it. Thank you so much. So obviously this piece here, it's like a roll neck, funnel neck, but I just adore those colors. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and we're gonna get into all that, but first let's take a look at the retail tags that come with this piece. So what we actually get here is an envelope, and it's just matte white, and printed on there in black is the Wales Bonner logo print right front and center there. And then on the back you can see that that is a little envelope there. And then on it at the bottom, that's the retailer sticker there. Yours may or may not have that, but it's always good to have to kind of check and make sure the size, model number, name, and stuff matches up, because it's always a good sign, but not necessary. The more important piece is this sticker right here, because that's the one that Wales Bonner themselves put on. So up top, we've got a model number, which you can look up, and you got to make sure it matches with everywhere else we see it here. You've got the type, I guess, technical knit. Then you've got the model name, Goto Color Block Roll Sweater. Then you've got your colorway, ivory, pale blue, red. And at the bottom, your size, which is small. And you've got a little hole punch up there that goes to a very thin black string. And they've just tied that around the brand tag at the back of the neck there. And now speaking of that brand tag at the back of the neck, let's get in there and take a look at that next. And that roll neck is so deep that it's actually like hard to get at this. But this is, as you can see, an embroidered tag, and it's a very glossy kind of gray, tan, silver. I guess maybe we could just go with ivory, the same color as the neck itself. And then stitched in black there is the Wales Bonner logo print, and that's done very clean, as you can see. And then that's stitched in both the top right and top left corners with single horizontal white stitches, or I guess ivory stitches, into that neck seam itself. And if we turn that over, you can actually see there's some weird kind of line stitching crosshatch pattern going on there. So that's actually a really good thing to look at, I'd say, if you're trying to determine real versus fake. You can also see that the tag is just folded over there in the corners. Now let's take a look at the care tags inside the sweater. So these would be on your left side if you were wearing the sweater. And first up here, you get this size tag, and that is just a simple loop tag. It's in a different fabrication than the brand tag at the back of the neck. This one is just a straight matte white with black stitching in there, and you've got the S for small, and that's also on the back there. If you look inside, there's just like a nice black bar there, and you can see that underneath the S on the front, so that's another good thing to look for. You can see these are stitched in super cleanly right into that side seam there. And then underneath that, you've got this single loop tag here, and this is a very thick plastic tag, kind of glossy white. And on there, you've got a bit of space from where that size tag covered it. And then you get Wales Bonner in bold all caps. And Lover's Rock, I'm pretty sure that's the collection name. Then you get that model number there, which does match the one that was on that envelope, the retail tag. Same with the colorway. And at the very bottom, made in Italy. Again, always a good sign, shows high quality. And then on the other side of the fold, you get the composition. So this one is polypropylene, and the embroidery is polyester. Very interesting. I don't know if I have anything else that's polypropylene. And then you get some symbols and your washing instructions, all left justified, all English, all caps. Now let's take a look at some of the unique details of this sweater. So down at the bottom here, you get an embroidered Wales Bonner kind of monogram there in blue, just a slightly darker blue than the pale blue of the main sweater body. And that does look like it is hand stitched in. And we turn it inside out and we can see how clean all that embroidery is there. This roll neck, as I mentioned, is quite large. There's only a single seam to it off on this side here. The other side doesn't have one. and you can see there's a slight kind of fold over where that goes in. That's that polyester trim I believe they mentioned. You can also see the fine knitwork here going around the neck. I feel like this is always a good sign of a good knit because it seems like only the best pieces have these little kind of flares going up around the neck here. The stitching is all very clean and very subtle. They've taken great pains to make it not very noticeable at all. And you'll also notice that the color changes at the sleeve from the blue to the red here is super clean. It's just instant, straight line, nothing wonky about that. Very interestingly, there's no hem and also no kind of cuff endings. They just end nice and even. So that's pretty rare to see, and it makes for a very interesting fit, as you'll see. The knit itself is super, super tight and quite thick. It's got a really interesting feel to it, again, unlike anything else that I own. Another nice little subtle element that I really like is at the shoulders here, where it turns from the shoulders to the arms, and you've got kind of some slight, this part is ribbed off on the shoulders here, a slightly, very, very slightly different texture to the main body and the sleeves. Now that we've checked out all the details, I think it's time to try this thing on to see how it feels and see how it fits. So this piece is a really, really interesting one, and I feel like actually both the fit and the feel kind of go hand in hand, so we kind of have to talk about both at the same time. First of all, the size is really interesting. So obviously this is tagged as a size small, and it kind of fits like a small, but also doesn't. The arms, oh my God, the arms are to die for. Both the fit of them feels great, and the length where they fall is the absolute perfect place. Like, it could not be better. But the body is very tight, and it comes up a bit short. So that's also something to consider there. And now getting into the feel, part of the reason I think for that tight feeling fit is that it is a very, very tight, very stiff knit, and that's that polypropylene that we were talking about. Again, very interesting. So I think what I might do is kind of soak this, get this a bit wet, and then put it on and wear it for a while to let it kind of stretch out to both loosen up that knit and kind of give some extra space in the body there. That being said though, obviously you can see here, I think it looks great, especially the sleeves, but even the body too, and that neck is, again, absolutely incredible. The roll neck, it comes right up to your chin and kind of flows out into there. So there are so many things to love about this, and it's definitely gonna get there as far as the other pieces that I don't like so much. But if you wanted a suggestion on the sizing, I would suggest thinking about at least sizing up one size. So that is how you tell the difference between real and fake Wales Bonner. Take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.